What's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of The Savage Life. I know I'm doing another quick turnaround for this episode here, but I came across something through my socials that I really wanted to speak on. As y'all know, most of the time when I get my inspiration and my subject matter, I get it from social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, different avenues that I use. Every now and then I come across something that I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I came across this clip of this guy talking about a situation where he met his wife's girlfriend, right? And you heard me right. He met his wife's girlfriend, and he talks about the dynamic that they have. And I thought it was a very interesting topic. I thought it was very interesting to explore, because a lot of relationships don't explore that side. You know what I mean? A lot of relationships aren't that open. A lot of men and women don't endure a very open relationship like that. Now, speak on it as you will, right? Some relationships are not all cookie cutter. Relationships are not all the same. Whatever works for you. Whatever dynamic that you and your partner feel is going to satisfy the both of you in a relationship, then I'm all for it. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to say what's right and wrong, because what's right and wrong is kind of a gray area to me, because it's right. It's only right in your eyes versus breaking the fucking law. Y'all know what I mean. Versus breaking the fucking law. Right and wrong, can be blurred. The lines can be blurred sometimes, especially in relationships, because you have to do what's good for you. Outside of you being verbally or physically abused, I don't think that all relationships are, unilateral. So I don't think that it's this is how your relationship should be. One man, one woman, y'all love each other to the end of time. Okay? Sometimes it don't work like that. Think about it. The divorce rate is at 46%. Is at 46%. So it's not like everything is always cookie cutter. Everything is going to be always happening. Everybody is always going to be happy in the situation that you're in. Now, mind you, a lot of infidelity comes into play of that. But I think a lot has to deal with people not being honest with each other and what they want in their relationship. And that's when a lot of the disconnect comes in. A lot of the things where the distrust and the dishonesty comes in. And fellas, if you are very honest with your mate, or very honest, especially if it's a female, if you're very honest with her, you'd be surprised how understanding she would be. Now, she might not go along with it, but she'll understand it. I'm not saying that she will accept it. There's a difference. Acceptance and being understanding are two different things, because she can understand that you're a freak, but she ain't got to accept it. And vice versa. You know what I mean? It's a two-way plane. So you got, I think the most important thing is that you got to be honest about it, and you got to be upfront about it. If you're upfront and honest about it and grown enough to handle it, then you do what you do. Now, let me circle back around. I found this clip, and I'm going to play it for you, and then we're going to take it from there. We're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to give you my honest assessment about what was said in the situation that this guy is in. Okay, check it out.
Open relationship, y'all just going outside, sleep with other people, or y'all have like other boyfriends and other girlfriends outside the room?
Yeah, I mean, she has a boyfriend that she deals with on a regular basis. And he's a cool dude. Like, you know, I've met
him.
Oh, I've met him. Yeah, he's cool. He's a good guy.
He comes to the Thanksgiving dinner?
Not Thanksgiving, but he's been to her birthday. He's been to. Like,
and you've been there for the birthdays too?
Yeah. There was friction at first because, you know, it was just new. Like, you know, like we've been together for 15 years. I don't want to be out here like big dogging, like, you know, oh, this is my wife, like, you know, get out of here type shit. But I also, you know, that is my wife. So I'm going to like still have like, you know, like a relationship and be intimate.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, he ends up getting her pregnant.
Yeah.
Is she allowed to keep it?
All right. Let's talk about it. All right, you heard it. Let's talk about it. It's a lot to unpack there. It's a lot to unpack. Again, first of all, before I offer an opinion or view on this, I do not judge anyone's situation. I do not judge anyone's personal preference or the way they operate in their relationship. Being that said, right? So let's talk about it. Guy says he's married, been married for 15 years to this young lady. And she has a boyfriend. Now, what I didn't hear, and maybe, you know, earlier or later in that podcast, because I only caught the clip. I only caught the little segment. Maybe he has a girlfriend. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Never heard anything in reference to that. But she obviously has a boyfriend. All right? He's met the guy. He met the dude. And from what he's saying, he's been around for a minute. So when the guy asked him he had been to like Thanksgiving and birthdays and stuff like that, he was like, yeah, he's been the birthdays. At first it was tense. What he said, it was some friction there at first. But then I guess, you know, as time went on, you know, they got to talking to each other and, you know, they became cool with each other. Right. So, let's dive into that. So that's his wife of 15 years. And you're cool with her boyfriend who was knocking the Mario coins out of her ass. And again, you have to be in a mindset, you have to be grown as fuck for that. And that is the best description. That is the most accurate description, I think. You gotta be grown as fuck. Fellas, I'm directly talking to you. Alright? You gotta be in a certain mindset to even be able to handle a situation like this. Shout out to him. Alright? Shout out to him. They're able to maintain an open relationship to where, hey, listen, if this is what you need, then, you know, let's work it out. Let's see how it goes. And I'm not saying, I don't even know how long they've been in that type of relationship. Apparently they've been in it for a minute. And it has worked for him. So guys say he's been to birthdays, events, and all that shit. I don't know if I have reached that level yet. I really don't. I know I talk a lot of shit about threesomes and being poly and all this and all that. And that is more or less with two women. Now, I'm not saying that this is poly. I don't think it is. This is something different. This is just a total relationship outside of your marriage. You're not intertwining the two. All right, so it's different. This is she has a whole boyfriend outside of her husband. Okay, so I really don't know what even to call that dynamic, because I can't call him the side dude if I can't call a dude a side dude if I know my wife is in a relationship with him. That's something different. I don't even know how do you even categorize that? Because I've been scratching my head for a minute trying to figure out, okay, so it's not a side dude. It's not a side dude. I don't know. So you got to kind of really, really, really be in a headspace where you can handle that. Now, I'm going to offer an opinion. It is not going to be popular. All right? But stay with me. If I'm married for 15 years and me and my wife have developed a dynamic to where she wants to seek an outside relationship. Okay? And to me, that can only go one or two ways. Either you don't want to be with me, or I'm not enough, or you want to explore a type of lifestyle that isn't traditional. And you got to look at it that way. I do believe you got to look at it that way. As for me, I don't know if I'm grown enough to handle it. I really don't. I don't know if I'm grown enough to handle it, because you having a boy, you can be like, okay, you can have a girlfriend. All right. My wife tells me you can have a girlfriend. Well, I'm not going to have a woman, a girlfriend, a total relationship outside of my marriage that I can't bring home. See, that's the difference. That is the difference for me. If my wife tells me, hey, listen, baby, I love you. Let's try something different. Okay, what you want to try? Well, let's explore something outside of our relationship. You know, I have a situation on the outside. You can have a situation on the outside. We both know about it. But we should be able to both handle it. Okay, cool. See, the difference is, for me, you can't bring him home, but I'm going to bring her home. You see the difference? She comes home, all three of us going to do what we do. Now, whatever you do outside with him we're good. Just go ahead and do what you need to do. All right? Do what you need to do. But the trade-off is, if I have a girlfriend, if I have an outside relationship like that, she's coming home, and we're doing things, we're doing unholy things to each other in the bedroom. So that would have to be somewhat of the trade-off. That would have to be somewhat of how that situation would manifest. Because I mean, we're married, all right? You're my wife. It's a difference between you and my wife and my girlfriend. It's a different set of standards. It's a different set of rules. And you have to have a lot of balls as my wife to come and tell me that, hey, I want a boyfriend, but I still love you as my husband. So the thought's going to creep into your mind, like, okay, what does he offer that I don't? All right. And that kind of comes up. It's like, what? Okay. So what is about this dude that has your attention so much that you would risk being with me to have a relationship with him? Now, this is something that I would say has to be discussed for a while before it comes into fruition. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that with this particular couple, with this particular dude, they tried, him and his wife tried poly, may have tried the example that I gave. They even tried, couple swinging or something like that, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't come to full fruition. That's basically what I'm going to say is what happened. Now, again, I'm not knocking the situation. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to switch gears for a minute. Maybe it was a situation where they had couples. You know what I mean? And you come in and you having group sex, maybe, or you have a group. I've heard of couples having relationships, which to me, that is, I don't know. That will be definitely different for you find a couple and y'all have a relationship. That's in a different dynamic than, you know, what I have ever been used to. I've never been in a situation where a couple, you know, came in and was like, hey, you know, let's talk about this. Which I know that dynamic is there. That dynamic is out there. You know, that's trending in waters I never, you know, I stepped in. You know, I was always in a traditional relationship. You know, nobody wanted to share me. Probably because the dick is good. That's another thing. They always say women, if the dick is good, woman ain't gonna want to share. Well, I have a theory behind that. If your woman is bisexual, she's gonna like women. You know, and then the problem is, fellas, you think it's about you. If she's bisexual, trust me, it's not about you. If she's bi-curious, it's not about you. You're just there to help. You're just there to add a different dynamic or a different type of eroticism to the situation. All right? Because most of the time, most women who are bisexual or bi-curious, they've dealt with men one-on-one. Especially if she's bisexual. If she's bi-curious, she's always dealt with men one-on-one. Adding a woman is a different perspective. So she's going to be more involved in that part of it, you know, with you. And you also have the type of relationships where a lot of women do it. They're not really into it. They do it because their man is into it, which I think is bullshit, because never ask a woman to do some shit that she ain't comfortable with. You never put a woman in a position where she has to do something to make you happy, especially something sexually. You know what I mean? So that's here nor there. We'll switch gears behind that. But yeah, a husband openly friends with his wife's boyfriend. You're openly cool with your wife's boyfriend. And again, that's just a different dynamic of relationships these days. It is. Traditional monogamous relationships are, sadly to say, I'm not going to even say sadly, a lot of monogamous relationships are fading going into a new era. This is just how things have changed since back in the 60s. Now, mind you, the shit happened back in the day. It just was taboo. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't as open as it is today. Today, we're a lot open with our communication, especially sexually, to a point where, you know, some things may start being more normalized than others. I don't know if I could be friends with my wife's boyfriend. If we are in a relationship where you have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend, and we're married, and we've been married for 15 years, I don't want to know about him. I don't want to know about him. I don't want to know what he look like. Just be safe. You see what I'm saying? Make sure you had that nigga checked out physically, emotionally, and all of that stuff. Make sure he good. You know, I don't need that nigga jump in time and come home thinking he over me. Because if you're still coming home to me, then I trump everything. If you're still coming home to me, then I trump everything. That means I can tell you we cutting that shit off at any point. That means at any point in time, I can tell you, hey, you got to let that nigga go. And you're going to have to let that nigga go. That's how, that comes from talking about it. That comes from, having a lot of one-on-one time discussing this type of dynamic and this type of relationship before you get into it. So you got to be very, very mindful of that. And vice versa. If you be like, hey, listen, you can't deal with that woman no more. All right, cool. She out. She gone. You know, and that's when you have to have the conversation with the other party as well. Say, hey, listen, I'm married. All right. If you ain't cool with this, you know, I understand. We'll keep it moving. All right. And at any point in time, if, you know, I'm telling you, my wife is going to know about you. And at any point in time that she doesn't feel like I need to be dealing with you, then I got to cut you off. See, it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of moving parts in those type of situations. So that's why a lot of couples or a lot of people don't get into them, because it gets complicated. It gets complicated. So that's why, you know, it's just not even the physical part of it. It's more the emotional, it's more of the setup, it's more of the situational awareness that you have to have in a situation like that. Like I said, it's a lot of moving parts. Both you and your partner have to be understanding of one another. Then the partner outside of the situation has to know that, you know, we're in this, but you could be temporary. You could be cut off at any point. And that's man or woman. You know, you have to tell that partner, you could be cut off at any point when my husband or when my wife says, all right, no more. All right. But then again, you have to play into the situation where, you know, feelings can get caught up into that other person outside your home. Again, moving parts. A lot of moving parts. That's why I understand when a lot of women are hesitant about giving their husbands threesomes or giving a man threesomes. Because you don't want that type of dynamic happening. I get it. I understand. I get to the point where I have never had a threesome. And I understand. I mean, when you look back and you really analyze it, that's probably why. That's probably why. Other than a lot of women are just not into it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women are just not. That's why it's important, fellas, if you want to get in, you want to explore that type of lifestyle, you have to get a woman who is willing to do that lifestyle with you. Not find a woman, get with her, and then try to change her into that lifestyle. That's not fair to her. That really isn't fair to her, that for her to develop feelings and y'all are deep into your relationship, and you all of a sudden drop a bomb on her like that. That's not really fair to her. So be mindful of that, fellas. Just be cognizant of what you are doing inside of your relationships, right? But that last little part about him asking if the outside dude get her pregnant, can she keep it? Okay, first of all, why are you fucking your side dude raw? What the fuck is that about? What the fuck is that about? Why are you raw dogging your side dude? Oh, that is wild to me. That is wild. It's like, oh, that's wild. Can she keep the baby? Fuck no. And I'm not even for abortions. But here's the thing. That's kind of one of them deals where, you better get rid of it before I find out about it. And I'm just keeping it honest. Can she keep the baby if the side dude gets her pregnant? How in the fuck do you get yourself in a position where you are a grown ass woman and you get pregnant by a side dude? How do you put yourself in that position? Or niggas, how do you put yourself in the position? And this happens more often than another. You go and get your side chick pregnant. You go and get her pregnant. Some of you niggas are so dumb. Why would you, if you got a woman at home, first of all, if you got a woman at home that is willing to explore different sexualities, not different sexualities, but different sexual aspects of your relationship, and you go get a side chick pregnant, you need your ass completely whooped. Completely. But we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about it in another podcast, because I have another episode that's coming up that's going to be really Really, really interesting. But outside of that, it's like, yeah, why would you get your... that is crazy. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about. Your wife's boyfriend. You cool with him. He's been to several birthdays and holidays and stuff like that. Like he's part of the goddamn family. Again, it's not the having the boyfriend thing, because I mean let's keep it honest. Every woman has that dude that just in case her relationship doesn't work out, he's there waiting. Every woman has that, right? So I don't know if I can be cool with him. That's the problem. I can't be cool with him, right? Knowing that you know, at any certain point, you knocking the Mario coins out my wife, and she's probably sucking your dick. So you gotta be, I don't know. Again, I don't want to know. Ignorance is bliss sometimes, and I don't want to know about it. I don't. You know, and I would tell my wife, keep your hoes in check. Keep your hoes in check. Make sure, you know, when I'm on the field, keep them on the sideline. But again, that's if we're in a relationship like that. I never had a relationship like that, you know, but if I did, that's how I would play it. You know, if I don't want to know the nigga, I don't want to know nothing about the nigga. Nothing. I don't want to meet him at all. If you got a boyfriend, that's it. But the difference is, if I go out to get a girlfriend, you're going to know everything about her because I'm breaking her home and all three of us going to be fucking. Because that's the only upside to it. That's the only upside to me having an outside girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, the sex might be different, yes, but it's just different sex. It's not so much better sex. It's different. The only upside is like, hey, listen, I got a young lady I want to introduce you to. And then we all get together and we do our thing. That's the only upside to having outside pussy and trying to explain outside pussy. See, if you bring your wife into that threshold, you ain't got to explain outside pussy. Simple as that. You ain't got to explain the girlfriend. If before y'all even become girlfriend, see, the difference is I won't have a girlfriend. We will have a girlfriend. You will have a boyfriend. We will have a girlfriend. See how I put that? See how that goes? We have a girlfriend. You have the boyfriend, because I know I'm not going to be involved with that cat at all. So that would be the major difference. That's the major difference, because me having an outside woman does absolutely nothing if I can't enjoy all three of you. But that is just the way I look at it, and probably not the way a lot of people look at it, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm just addressing the clip that I heard and into an imaginary situation that I probably will never be in. But anyway, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for supporting me. That's all I got for right now. I appreciate the time that you take to listen to me and support me. And again, make sure you can share the podcast. Make sure they click that like button, click that subscribe button, and help your boy out. Remember, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And I'll catch up with y'all later. Peace.